Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Exciting day. The Camaro is officially out of its cover. So got the cover here. I had to move all kinds of shit around. Threw the battery tender back on the shelf. So this thing has been on a battery tender all winter, and it still is winter. However, today is one of the first days that it's actually been, I would say, halfway warm out. It's kind of cold right now. It's like 40 degrees or maybe a little less, but it was close to 50 today, which is a big deal for us here in Wyoming. As you can see, there is still snow kind of on the driveway here, but for the most part, the roads are pretty clear. So this car has not been started, I think, since November. I don't know when in November, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty early November. If you go and look at 2 or 3 videos ago, I did a video on what I did to prep this car before putting it away. And that was honestly one of the last times I drove it. So you're looking at a clean car that's been sitting here just like this in the same exact spot for a few months. I don't usually like to do that. Usually it gets out, I start it at least and let it run. However, this winter's been a little worse than most. It's been super, super cold, and the snow just hasn't melted off the roads enough for me to actually be willing to take it out. It's not that we get a lot of snow, it's just been so cold that there's just no point to try to, dodge patches of ice everywhere. So it has been sitting. I don't recommend doing that, but it's doesn't have a lot of fuel in the tank. So what I'm going to do is just fire it up to get you guys a cold start and then go take it down to get some fuel. Good. I'm excited to drive it. I haven't seen this thing out in so long. Like I forget how much I love this car, and it makes me not want to get rid of it after seeing it. I kind of forgot what it looked like. Still such just a great looking car for being going on 6 years old this year. So for 6 years old, this thing looks pretty good. It sounds good. It needs a little bit of loving, so we're going to shut the garage door here and head on down. Another quick point I want to make, just cruising down the hill here, and I haven't even really put, I don't know if I've put more than 20% throttle into this thing. I just kind of been coasting down the hill here, and I just want to reiterate how great this car is. For having aftermarket parts put on it, it has not been legitimately ran in at least 3 months. It might be close to 4 now, and hasn't even been started, and has old fuel in it. It starts up right away. I feel like right at home. Like this car, I feel like I've been driving it every day for the last 6 months. Seriously, like nothing, it still gives me, excited inside, but I just feel comfortable and right at home, and it just runs, it's running great, I'm so happy with how this car performs and how reliable it is. It may not be the highest horsepower car out there by any means, and it could have a lot more with what it has in it. It's set up to be such a reliable daily drivable car, and I really love that about it. And it's just, it feels, like I said, I feel right at home. The only thing I will say that sucks is it's colder than I thought. It's only 32 degrees, which these tires should not be driven on at 32 degrees at all. And I was going down my hill, which has a couple steep little parts in it, and I kid you not, there was like a foot of water, like just a little patch, like a foot in diameter, and I ran over it. When it rolled probably 20 or 30 feet afterwards, and I hit the brakes, and I could feel the car, like the analog brakes kind of kicked in for a second. So that's how bad these tires are when it comes to driving in cold temperatures and poor conditions like this. But they're great in the winter or in the summer when they're warm, so I can't bash on them too bad. But my goodness, they are terrible when it's wet and or very cold out. Obviously just left the gas station, and I didn't want to film it because you never know how people are about cameras and stuff. He saw I had the camera out. I was taking some pictures and video of the car at the pump, but just an older gentleman, and he's like, "Holy smokes, is
you just buy this thing? And you know, I had to tell him, like, no, man, this is almost 6 years old actually. And he was like, wow, you know, that's a great looking car, and you know, was asking me all kinds of questions about it. So that just kind of like, man, I just love cars for that reason, because I would have never had that conversation with that guy if you know, if he hadn't have been somewhat interested in cars. You could tell he liked them and knew about some stuff. And it's just the car world is such a cool thing, you know. You don't have to have any agreements on any other beliefs, but if you like cars, you know, you can find a topic and really you know, get along with just about anybody, which is super, super awesome. All right, now that we're finally, of course, people driving like idiots, finally getting into a place where the car's kind of warmed up and just dry ground. I just haven't really got on it. God, I love that sound. That was only like 3 pounds of boost, but I don't want to rip on it too hard. You know, it's been sitting for a while. I want to get it serviced and, you know, get the oil and all that stuff changed. But little backfires there, little crackles. That sounds great. Oh man, I love this car so much. And we won't do a full pull Cletus style, but we'll get a little action here. This feels so solid. All the temperatures, pressures, everything looks really, really good. Transmission, clutch feel good. Like, it just feels like it's been, you know, just another day, like another day of driving, and that's all it really feels like. I do think I need to get my tires balanced, just feel a little bit of a shimmy. Nothing bad, but I think there's something there. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Love how fast this thing picks up boost. For being a remote mount, which everybody dogs on, I barely was in the throttle, honestly. And I was at full boost there. I mean, it works great, and it just, obviously it sounds awesome, man. This thing always puts a smile on my face, and it makes me not want to sell it again. So it's a great car, and I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. It's been a long time, well overdue since I've been in this thing, and I wanted to introduce it to the channel, being that we got a new channel name and some new subscribers as well. So if you're new to the channel and you're watching this, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would just tremendously appreciate that. And some of the content coming up will be a lot longer this, and with some more detail and some fun. But I figured, you know, I only have a little bit of daylight left after work, and could get a quick drive in, and I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit here. So I hope you all have a fantastic day and a fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.